I don't know how to start. This might be my longest video and hardest video to film. I'm already tearing up a little bit. Don't come at me with questions like, are you okay now? I mean, are you going through that again? Don't come at me with them questions. Like, family, friends should know there's a change in my attitude, my personality. I've done like a 360 since last year. And that's what I'm here to talk about. What happened to me last year. And it might offer some trigger warnings, not just one set of trigger warnings, but it might offer some different trigger warnings. And also at the end of the video, I'll tell you what I've been doing for self-love, what I've been doing for myself, to help myself. I mean, what others have been doing too for me. This video is not for self-pity. This video is for mainly myself. It's for something I have been pushing off for a year. It's something I have been buried in the deep of my mind to do. I mean, I acknowledge, one day I'm going to film this, I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it right, I'm going to tell my story, and all that blah blah blah. I've been pushing it back. I mean, I don't want this channel to be dark and depressing all the time. I want to joke around on the channel and have fun, which I do. I enjoy myself on the channel. Like I said, this may offer trigger warnings, so if you get triggered, I'm sorry. You can put it on mute. You can skip to the end. Like I said, I'll offer advice, what's been helping me, and so on. I don't know when I'll upload this. I don't know if I'll upload it the day I'm videoing this. I don't know if I'll upload it the next day like I usually do. I usually film one day or one night and then edit and then upload it the next morning. I don't know which one I'll do, but eventually it'll get uploaded. And I hope you enjoy or get some insight or help out of this video. And I will say, there's no reason to spread gossip about this. You can share this video, yeah, but there's no reason to say, did you hear what she went through? Did she hear what she did or didn't do, or blah blah blah. There's so much gossip in the world, so don't do that. You can share and like my video, subscribe, but don't act different around me. I've done a completely 360. I mean, this is basically who I am. I'm a little shy on camera. Yeah, I make mistakes, but I make mistakes in real life too. So, if you're my boyfriend watching, or my mom, or best friend, or somebody close watching, you basically know the gist of what happened. Don't be like, what? Don't act surprised. Don't do that. Just watch my video like any other video. This video is for me and for the people going through something similar like this, okay? This is not for the spectators. This is not for gossip people, okay? So, got that straightened out. So, it's last year, a year from today, probably a few weeks ago, I was working at a nursing home facility. And I was doing my best, I'm not perfect, not the perfect worker, but I was doing my best. I get my job done, okay? I'm trying to get help and whatever, but remember, this was after COVID. And this was when hospitals, nursing homes, healthcare in general was like still working through the pandemic, but also still struggling with understaffed. And freaking out about, well, am I going to get COVID when I go to work? I mean, am I going to work at home? My mom, to my kids, to my friends? Am I going to contaminate them? I mean, what's going to happen? So, we was very understaffed. of course, like all healthcare businesses are now. But I tried my best, and I think I did my best. I mean, I got burned out. There was a week where I was crying every day. My hair, I have thick hair, and yes, it does fall out, you know, pieces of hairs will fall out, of course, or when I brush my hair or in the shower, whatever. But one day, after stressing out for a week, taking a shower, and I scrubbed my hair, and a glop of my hair fell out. Yeah. So, I mean, crying every day for a week, calling my mom almost every day, crying out, panic attacks, whatever. Like you expected, I got overwhelmed. I mean, panic attacks. Work was literally stressing me out, and it was affecting me physically and mentally, and it was rough. And I mean, I was in a different relationship than I was now, so not the same relationship, a different person. And so we've been dating a few months, you know, everything was going good, but I have noticed that he was going through depression. I won't touch a lot on that, but just what I went through. But I will say he did have serious depression, and it's just like he could change his mind, you know, in an instant about me. And so that kind of, you know, freaked me out. And it, you know, I was in love with this guy, or so I thought. We clicked, but we didn't click. We didn't have the same mindset. We clicked on stuff we liked, you know, everything we liked and everything like that. And we had the same job, so we was stressing out together, and he knew I was stressing out. So my mom had won a trip to Gulf Shores, and we went down there in May, at the end of May, maybe. Yeah, it was a nice getaway. I didn't have to worry nothing. You know, I wasn't stressing out or nothing. But the thing is, my boyfriend at the time, like, hid the way he felt because I was already stressing out. He was protecting his feelings and everything because I was already stressing out, you know, because of work and everything. And worrying about him, I was stressing out bad. So I have had, just to insert this, I've had actually good relationships in my life. This relationship now, 2022, is the best relationship I've ever had. You know, people will say that while they're in the relationship, but it's the best. People around can tell that I'm extremely happy and I'm with my person. They can tell that. But anyways, last year, so much that went on last year. It was, you know, a great relationship. We started talking about our future like any relationship does. He was a lot younger than me, a lot. But still, I mean, we had the same interest, you know. So I thought, okay, you know, maybe this could work out, you know. So I was just kind of going with the flow. And when I got back from my vacation, it was like, I'm going to have to look for another job. I'm looking for another job because I can't do it no more. I can't work here. It's just too much. And like I said, I have had good relationships, including this one. But in the past, I've had actually good, decent relationship that I have, you know, said if I pass by them, I'll say hey to you, hey so and so. You know, don't have to avoid them on purpose. But yes, so, and I've also had, you know, verbal abuse and every kind of abuse. So there was those trauma triggers in the back of my head that have not been healed at the time, that I had pushed far in the back of my head to help my current boyfriend. Yes, I put him in front of myself. And as good as that sounds, You're like, oh, how sweet. You know, you're caring. What? No, no, no. I might be caring still. You have to work on yourself in order to really be in a relationship. You have to get therapy, work on yourself to get rid of or cope with those traumas or triggers. And that's what I have learned. I know I said I'd save it for the last of the video, but that's something I have learned. Anyways, I have pushed back all this drama, all these triggers and stuff, abuse for this guy that I thought I loved, that I really cared about. So I could help him. I could help him figure out what's going on in his life, you know. And to help him, not his girlfriend, but someone that cares about him. And also, I wanted, like I said, a new job. So I was applying on Indeed.com all over the place. I reapplied to some places. I applied to other places. I applied to a lot of places. And my mom, who works somewhere else different than me, said, hey, why don't you just come back to so-and-so? And I was like, I really want to get out of healthcare. I really want to get out of the field because it's just too much. She said, well, why don't you just try it out? I said, I don't know if I can. So me and this guy in June, we have been planning a trip for my birthday. I think in June, or maybe it was May when we started planning. I don't know. We've been planning on a trip to go on my birthday, and he had eventually let it slide that he was going to ask me to marry him. And, you know, I was so excited and everything. We had so much in common or stuff like that. And it was like, you know, and we was talking about kids also. And it's like, am I finally getting what I've always wanted? And I thought I have, you know, they say you have to go through the worst to get to the best. And I thought I've already done that in my past. You know, I was here to help him and through his situation, and maybe he can help me too. And it didn't. So there's proof that it didn't. That you need to work on yourself. And, you know, starting to cry because of a failed relationship. But not because of a failed relationship, but what became after. And I'll set my mic a little closer. Maybe you can hear me better. I know I have a raspy voice. Just deal with it. When I look back on it, it just happens so fast. When you go through a heartbreak or heartache, it goes so slow. But once you get to either happiness, legit happiness, or another relationship or whatever, or self-love, or being single and loving it, then you look back on it and you're like, wow, that was just a blur. That was a blur. And so we got into a fight and he broke up with me. And I'm not going to say, well, I said this, he said that type thing. I'm not going to do he said, she said, so you can pick sides. I'm not here to talk about that. This is just the story that leads up to what I'm going to talk about. And, you know, I said some things wrong, he said some things wrong, so he couldn't make up his mind whether it was my fault or his fault, basically. I was just there. Like, I thought he loved me, you know. We talked about family, talked about getting land, we talked about a different house, or the house build, or talked about kids. Almost every detail down to it, what we would do. And if you're watching this and you think, wow, she's still hurt by it, and I'm like, no, I'm not hurt by it. I'm just like, why did I have to go through that to get to here? I mean, why couldn't I just go to therapy? And once he broke up with me and we just go back and forth, you know, I was trying to get him back and everything, and just going back and forth, and all that stuff that I buried in my mind to help him resurfaced. It resurfaced. It came up hard. It busted through, apparently, and obviously. And when that happened, and it was like, I could have said the meanest thing he's ever heard by a female. I don't know. But he obviously said the meanest thing a man or a guy has ever said to me. So, but to learn that I almost had everything I ever wanted, yeah, it was heartbreaking. And to have past trauma baggage to roll up, I could not escape. I couldn't. I have had thoughts where in the past before this, I've had thoughts where I'm like driving to work and I'm like, you know, just for a second wish I was at a car wreck in the ditch or something, or picture myself in the ditch so I wouldn't have to go to work. And until like last year, I thought, well, everybody has that thought. Everybody, that's normal. No, it's not normal. So if you're thinking that, stay till after the video. But yeah, I was thinking that, and it was like, really? I wanted in a car wreck instead of going to work. But before that, I love myself, okay? Took a long time for me to love my body, you know, to love how I look. Because like I said, I was verbally abused by a shallow guy. But I love my personality, love how I am. So, and I could blow off those thoughts of wanting a car wreck on the way to work. You know, just, I'm blow it off. But this one day, a year ago, I couldn't blow it off. It was the heartache from the breakup, plus all this other trauma that I said I buried in the back of my mind coming full surface and coming together. And like I always do, I couldn't blow it off. I couldn't sweep it off, sweep it under the rug. I can't. There's no way you can blow this off. I was sitting in my room. My thoughts was racing. It wasn't any normal anxiety, panic attack thoughts. I couldn't blow them off. I was shaking. My head was racing. I could not stop the voices. So I remember staring down to a handful of sleeping pills, and I just wanted it to stop. Just stop. I just wanted it to stop racing, to be quiet. I just wanted it to all go away. I remember I didn't take them. I remember just staring at them and just saying, God, that was it. And I instantly thought about my mom coming through and finding me that way. And that's two things that stopped me. Never thought I would be in that position because, you know, I had a friend that committed suicide, and I had a family member that overdosed on sleeping pills. And like I said, I love myself. I enjoyed who I was, and you know, I enjoyed life and everything. It's just people always say, well, suicide is selfish and you should love yourself and encourage people. And I mean, I say it too, I preach it too now, but it's like, it's easy to say that when you're on the outside looking in. When you're a family member, friend, whoever, spouse, whatever, looking in at someone struggling, it's easy for them to say that. You really don't know that how it's a trap. To me, it was a trap. For me, I went down the rabbit hole. I went down the dark path. And if you're struggling with this, let someone know that it's hard for you, that it is a trap. Because there was no way I was getting out of that. There was no way I could brush it off and say I love myself too much to do that. And those two things, it saved me. Other things has saved me during that month. You know, parents can sense when something's wrong. So I did apply to my mom's job, and I just quit one day. I just quit. And you know what she did for me? She took me to Pigeon Forge for the whole day and the night. After I got off work, I slept on the way. She took me there We ate at my favorite restaurant. It's an Italian restaurant in Pigeon Forge. And we just did a lot of things up there. It was a big tourist attraction. If you've never been up there, it's great. And she just knew. And I took a week off from work. No work. I had orientation, of course, but that's not considered work. I took a week off from work and just regain my mental health. I called to set up an appointment for therapy. I knew I needed therapy anyways because of my past triggers. But for that one night, yeah, that's what crossed the line. I didn't want to go back there again, so I, told my regular doctor, and then she set up someone and now have a therapist, which I'm very grateful for. But friends would be great therapists too. One in particular, Christina, my friend, she was like, I'm gonna get you through this, sister. We call each other sister. And she didn't just say it to be saying it. She helped me through it, She helped me a lot. And I owe her. And I love her. And it's like, I was so mad. Of course you're mad after you're heartbroken and crying, whatever. You're pissed off and mad. I wanted to rip down immediately. And a voice told me to wait. Just wait. Just wait. I'm glad I waited. Because a year later, I'm monetized. But anyways, so I started the new job, and a month later, I started therapy. But before then, I was, working on myself, doing what I could on my own, because I like to research stuff, and especially on the internet or Pinterest or whatever. So I was researching and coming up with things that I can do on my own, and it was really helping. And it was like I was getting there, I was getting there. I had a new job, which was, when you start a new job from a stressful one, you're like, oh, this is so much better, feel so much better, And then, of course, you have friends, I had several friends I could talk to, vent to, best friends tell it how it is, They vent to each other. That's what best friends are for, right? Or, true friends, not fake friends. But anyways, so starting a new job, starting therapy, starting to shape myself, I guess. Or not really shape myself, but cope with what happened, I guess. And it's like, I was learning how to love myself again. I guess that's what you can say. I didn't go out, just a friend hanging out with this guy I went to school with, ever since we was elementary. We went to school together, but I haven't seen him in at the time it was 14 years, 14 years. And, I was really wanting to hang out with someone that didn't know what was going on. I could have hung out with my friends, of course I could, but they knew what was going on. I could see in their faces, they really didn't know what to say. They was there for me, of course, trying to get me through it and all this and that, which I'm grateful for, truly grateful for. But it's like I wanted to hang out with someone else that didn't know what went down, what happened. So I reached out to him and I was like, hey, you want to go see Free Guy? He was like, sure, when? So we went to see each other, and it was a good movie. I liked it. Not a lot of people liked it, but I liked it. I think he liked it. Maybe, do you? Do you remember? But we went to see the movie, and then after we was standing in the parking lot for the longest time, and we talked and talked and talked and talked and talked. We went to Buffalo Wild Wings and ate. We talked more, and then after we went back to the movie theater parking lot. We talked and talked forever. And it was like I am on a date with myself, meaning we had the same mindset. Sure, I was sad because of what just happened, and I'm trying to get through it, you know. But here's this guy, here's this person with the same mindset as me. How weird. So that became our first date. Yeah, our first date. And almost a year later, here we are, still dating. Very happy with him. But I'm not talking about my relationship now. Talking about what happened and what got me to cope. And, you know, he did help me with triggers also. I will say that. And at the beginning of our relationship, I think I told him what happened. And I was like, I have triggers, you know. And I had a lot of triggers, several triggers in our relationship at the beginning. And he didn't know how to deal, so we just talked about it. We talked. So that really helped me too. So, I mean, even if you don't get in a new relationship, you know, it's your choice. You know, that just kind of happened. That came out of nowhere. And that came out of nowhere. They say, you know, you go through the worst before the best. So just know that if you need any advice, I'm here. You know, again, don't come at me about, are you okay now? Just as spectators or just being nosy or wanting to gossip. I'm not here for that. I'm not here for you. I'm not here for you. Move on. Watch my video. Move on. Go watch my other videos. I have other videos if you want. If you feel trapped, if you feel like there's no one there, or if you feel like you can't stop the raging thoughts, I'm here. I'm sure you got some kind of family or some kind of friends out there or some kind of co-workers that has been through the exact same thing or near the exact same thing. So don't tell me that you have no one, because a stranger can be your next best friend, your next boyfriend or girlfriend. Get out there, make a connection, or go do therapy. And you're probably like, no, I don't need therapy. Honey, everybody needs therapy, especially now, especially with all these shootings that are happening in the world today. So go get therapy. And if you know someone that is like this, I mean, don't act negative towards him. I had a so-called friend that was angry that I kept going after my ex after we broke up, and I knew he liked me before, but turns out that he still liked me. He still wanted to be with me, and you know, he didn't come out right say it, but it was like, you know, why are you still going back to him when you can have me type thing, you know. But you know, that wouldn't work out either, because you know, he really wasn't there for me like a true friend. He thought, you know, it seemed to me like he thought, oh, suicide is selfish, and quote, I would never do that, unquote, and all this stuff, and blah 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 and stuff. You don't know what a person's going through until you go through it. You don't know what it feels like being trapped until you go through it. And honestly, you do not know who your true friends are, because your family, they might not know anything. You don't tell your family everything. You don't. But your friends, your best friends, unless they're going through something themselves, they're going to be upfront with you. Be like, I'm going to read you through this. I'm going to make sure you don't go down that path. I'm going to make sure you don't kill yourself, and that you're happy one day. I'm going to make sure you get there. They're not going to judge you. They're not going to be your fake best friend. I mean, they're not going to pretend that they're there and talk about you behind your back. They're not going to do that. When you go through something traumatic or something like this, it's a shame to find out that you have fake friends, or you have friends with not good intentions. And you really do find out who your friends are. But find that person that said, hey, we'll get you through this. And stick with them. Get into therapy. Everybody needs help. I don't care about your ego, your pride. You get yourself in therapy. You quit that stressful job. Every job is stressful. Every job. I'm not talking about a minor convenience. I'm talking about like something similar to what I went through, like my hair falling out, clumps of hair, crying for a week straight. I'm talking about that stressful. I'm talking about that. You find yourself another job. Even if it's in the same field or something, you find something different. And you know what? I didn't care. I was looking at jobs like $1 to $1 less than what I was making. I did not care about the money. It's not always about the money. Businesses nowadays thinks it's about money, but it's not always about the money. We always got bills to pay. Okay, we want to travel. We want cars, build up our houses, blah blah blah, whatever. We always got bills, but it is not about the money. When it boils down to it, it is about work stress, how stressful it is. And I was just like, can't do it. You get that other job and try it out. See how it is. If you don't like it, try another job. There's places hiring all over now. Somewhere they are hiring. Even for $1 or $2 less than you're making. Get another job. I'm actually making more at my current job than I would be at my past job. Just to clarify. But, and I know everybody's not a Christian. I know everybody don't believe. They have their own opinions. I'm going to say number 5, which should be number 1 on your list. Pray. And I'm saying just pray. Because I'm saying, dear God, and just bust out crying. You can bust out crying and to God. And He'll know what you're trying to say. He knows what you feel. So, just pray. Just pray in your own way. Just do it. Just do it and see what comes out of it. And there's other things that you can do. You can, get a massage, and that does relieve stress. That does relieve stress in your mind and on your body. Like you can get a massage. You can, go relax in a pool. If it's during summer or spring, go relax. Go read a book on the beach if you're at the beach. If you have the privilege to go to the beach. So, I just want you to remember that I'm here. I'm here to talk. You can talk to me. I might not have the right things to say. I'm going to tell you those 5 things that I just told you. I'm going to preach it and tell you over and over. Pray. Quit that stressful job. Get a new job. Go to therapy. Find that friend or somebody that says, hey, I'm gonna get you through this. But it is so hot in here. My AC's off. If it wasn't, it would be so noisy. I got to go. I love y'all. And if you know someone that's struggling, just remember it could be a trap. And they just don't know how to escape. They don't know. Love y'all. Bye. Watch my other videos. And I'll see y'all later.